The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. Windy, hitty. More open-ended, but strictly short-haul flights between my locality's less conspicuous traders in the same expansive range of worldwide wares, scanning copiously stocked shelves and handbagging consumables of the mortally edible variety, with paths far less direct than any crow would dare crank, at no fewer than 70 flaps per minute, much less when hampered by conditions turbulent enough to blow them repeatedly off course. The pace of those I did glimpse swoop swiftly down and settle on Greenacres Crescent's thriving common to preen their windswept plumages and exchange brief caws, was also far too rapid for me to covertly cower within their generous slipstreams, and afford a subtle speed boost to this ride's distinctly pedestrian average. In hindsight, this might have been just as well, since neither these jumbo jays, nor any member of Shoreham's booming and progressively Hitchcockian herring gull population take kindly to freeloading wing-suckers, even when it is their feathered brethren who may be seeking refuge from the broad-sided bluster and venomous upper gusts of a savage southwesterly alliance. These gale-force onslaughts carried sufficient potency to evoke snarls of resentment from the leafy moors and swaying branches of many a wooden wiseacre, bully all weather-worn bearers of St. Beaufort's breezy gospel into tinkling tatters atop of their trembling masts, and topple fully loaded wheelie bins like giant skittles in a viciously competitive game of elemental 10-pin bowling, leaving the usual scavenger's banquet strewn across flooded pavements. Leg and headspace. Another classic case of resolving recurrent matters that I'd far rather roll on into the passive recovery zone after, having tackled all at rates of perceptibly palatable rigour, than rise and shine with insufficient sizzle to face before, when the privilege of self-determined pace is significantly less certain, due to the threats of scattered revolutions so tirelessly peddled by our stress-fueled press, disrupting one's dry-lubed chain of happy thoughts, especially when simultaneously fighting for your civil liberties and safety rights amidst diverted rush-hour traffic. Pause for thought. Pray, I often ponder which has been privy to more revealing confessions from Shoreham's misguided souls. Is it the hassocks, pews, and plush-curtained cubicles within St. Mary's heavenly sanctuary for kind-hearted Christians, or that conspicuous scarlet phone box standing next to its cemetery, which must have fielded its fair share of untraceable calls for those who don't trust Apple's scrupulous privacy policy? Regardless, I had but one sin to unburden upon the feather-footed fox that wandered silently amidst the gravestones beneath several towering wooden sentinels, who themselves incanted ritualistic rustles, as if to ward away any vengeful spirit lurking in the shadows that might dare breach the boundaries of this hallowed abode. The sin I spoke of was this ride's scandalous absence of structure and lamentably slow pace, barely matching that of a snail in a slug's slipstream. But have sympathy, I appealed to my vulpine companion. What can a disheartened peddling pilgrim do when botanically brewed motivation is served nowhere near as readily as communion wine? "Leg off home and lie down," came the furry familiar's abrupt response, "or I'll howl louder than this church's bell has ever tolled." But not perhaps quite as loud as... Please, don't panic. That ear-piercing siren you hear emanating from your shiny new iPhone 17 Pro, together with the bad vibrations generated by its enhanced haptic engine, is a perfectly natural response to your country's artificial emergency alert. In the event we were dealing with a genuine emergency arising from an international crisis involving civil societies utilising weapons of mass destruction to engage in full-scale global warfare, this notification would contain detailed instructions divulging how best to protect yourself from any potentially fatal dangers. Then again, under such life-threatening circumstances, the communicative technology that we employ to distribute this warning would have likely already been vaporised by a nuclear drone strike, and if it hadn't, any instructions therein would almost certainly not have saved you long enough to read the 5,000-word disclaimer, wholly absolving us of all legal liability for any material loss, physical injuries, or death you might have sustained in attempting to comply with or follow them. Should you or any member of your family have recently fallen victim to such a phony government-issued call to arms, in future, feel free to treat it with the scathing cynicism it deserves.